And welcome to the B-side, where we talk about Bond shit that isn't necessarily the movies. And today we're going to talk about Roger Moore's villains, the main villains from all 7 of his movies. And just like we did it with Connery, we're going to rank them from 7 to 1. So let's start here, gentlemen. Who do we think is the 7th and worst villain of the Moore movies? Anybody have a strong opinion here?
Stromberg.
Stromberg?
Got Stromberg down there.
See,
He's the most forgettable of all of them. And he's a fish fucker.
I mean, I think there's a strong case to be made for Stromberg to be down there. I agree.
That was going to be mine as well. Yes.
Mr. King of Atlantis.
No one likes a fish fucker.
No.
are we gonna rank them on like how menacing they are individually, or like their reach of power?
And their plot.
Well, I think it's all involved. I mean, we've already done this once. I mean, we know we've.
And he has a large reach too, because Spectre wanted him and he didn't want anything to do with him. Right?
But
Or did they want him?
how do you even kind of say what the?
I know they wanted one of them. I don't know about him.
But here's my thing: is like he's obviously super resourceful. I mean, he built pretty much a city underwater.
So he can fuck fish.
It's very cool.
In
Hey,
private.
whatever his motives are, the point is he built an underwater city and he was motivated.
Yes, he's
and-
capable and he
And
has the
he
money,
was
the
going to
means.
destroy life on Earth so they could come down and live under the sea with him. Like,
Yeah, and he stole a bunch of submarines with
Fish with-
nukes. I mean, the guy wasn't a bumbling idiot.
like really,
No, he wasn't an idiot.
As a character, though, he wasn't fleshed out very well.
That's true.
He was kind of like Largo-esque from
Well, he was supposed to be Blofeld,
Thunderball.
Yeah.
it was like a
written for
last
both of
minute,
them, yeah.
shoehorned in there.
So, what do you think makes Stromberg worse than Christostos? I can't say his name.
Or even Scaramanga.
See, I was going to go Scaramanga
Scaramanga's actually.
because he's just an
I
assassin.
retract.
Well, he's just an assassin,
Yeah,
but
retract.
he's the most deadly man on earth.
Well,
That's got to count for
aside
something.
from-
When
it
you're the
doesn't
best
count-
at something,
it-
that counts for something.
He's not the best because Bond killed him. Bond's the best. Like that was proven and all that.
Well,
so,
on that side, Bond's on the good side. He's on that. He's probably the
but
best
once
on
again,
that
as
side.
far as reach, like you yourself are the weapon, but you have no.
He doesn't have
reach.
the resources Stromberg.
That's what
Or
I
a
mean.
Drax,
Like, you have no
or a
real
Christados
power.
has.
You just have resources. Like
Or a Mr. Big.
that's what I mean. Even Mr. Big has
Scaramanga
like.
might be the poorest of the bad guys.
Yeah, all he's got is an island.
Even
like,
though they're probably.
We just said all you have is an
all
island.
you have is an island. He's just a millionaire. These other guys
Yeah.
are billionaires.
That's what I mean. Like it's an entire. Like, we're talking about like the totality of like the character and the plot. Is like you're just like a Bond fan, and you wanted him to be on your side, and then duel with him basically.
Well, in all reality, Christostos is just a drug dealer.
I don't have
So is Mr. Big.
strong
Yeah.
feelings on this
He
necessarily,
just had a better plan.
but I still go back to Stromberg being the least interesting of the villains. I can be swayed easily on this.
You don't think
That's why
you don't think fish sex is interesting?
Yeah, I mean that's.
If there would have been more fish sex in that movie, then yes, but they just didn't give us enough of it.
Yeah, if taking in everything that he did and capable of doing, then yeah, he maybe should be higher. But I was just thinking of, he is completely forgettable when you look at the rest of these guys. He's just terrible.
Speaking of fish fucking movies, what was that one Benicio del Toro made?
Benicio del Toro
Or-
fucks fish.
Or no, it was like the
I
something-
know what you're talking
yeah, the
about.
something
I never
water.
saw it. Yeah.
I can't
Something
remember.
about water.
But that's the sequel to this apparently, right?
About water.
Yeah, and it was like nominated for Academy
Oh,
Awards.
you mean
a
the
few
one
years
with the
ago.
woman and the
Or Guillermo
and she
del
finds-
Toro. I mean, Guillermo
and
del Toro
she
directed
finds, like,
it.
the creature from the Dark Lagoon.
Yeah.
The Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
And they have sex with each other.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Really?
It's
here.
called
Look it up. Yeah, look that
It's
movie.
shape
up.
I think I'm gonna stay away
Shape of
from it.
Water.
Actually,
Shape of Water. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
It's
know
a legit
once I heard it was
fish
about
fucking movie.
fish sex,
It-
I
there's-
did not watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It's a
never
legit
watched
fish
it. I
fucking
just
movie.
know about it.
She fucks a fish, and they show it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I'm still going with the Golden Gun as the last one. Like that's
Here, I agree with Alex
I can
though
agree
about
with
Scaramanga.
Scaramanga, 'cause
Scaramanga is like a mysterious, worldwide known assassin, the best assassin in the world, I think that has to count for something in the world of James Bond.
I mean, but if we're,
But what
but that's
sets
what
him aside
that,
from being
but
a
that's
henchman
exactly
of
why I
somebody else
asked the
that's more
question I
powerful?
did in the beginning. Because if we're going off that, Scaramanga should automatically be number one because he could kill every one of these fools that's on there.
Well,
Well, he
it's not
could,
just
yes,
about-
but I don't think we're going off one thing
right.
But
by
that-
itself
but
on
that's
any
what
of
I mean.
them.
If we're going like I said, the
I
totality
admit I
of
did
it.
with Stromberg.
It's like the
Yeah.
Bond girls. There are many factors.
But once again, if we're going,
No.
if we're going after the totality, yes, your skills are like in the 90s, but your resources are in the shitter.
Sure, but he did have a sweet island
Like-
with a cool fun house where he
Yeah.
could practice his sweet assassin
Yeah,
skills.
and yeah, you can sit there on the island and play with yourself all day. But you know what? Everybody else on that list is richer than you and has more resources.
I can accept
Like-
Scaramanga at the bottom if that's where if Tom
Yeah.
feels
Yeah,
strongly.
as far as capability and resources,
Like I said, if we're going after totality, he loses.
he's just
They
capable
always,
of
they
killing
all
you.
lose.
Well, they all lose, but
which is a form of power all in itself
But he's not capable of killing a world. He's capable of killing one person
at a time.
at a time. Yeah, but that ain't the world. These other guys want to take over the world.
You
yeah,
can't
well,
argue
I'll
with
we're
go
talking
that.
down
about
of
people
them.
that are going to release nukes and
okay, well,
plants that are
his-
going to kill you biologically.
His plan
Like,
is too small compared to the rest of
yeah,
the.
your
And
your
wasn't
special
Scare-
custom golden gun
It's
is going to
smaller
shoot
scale.
one person at a time.
So
Like,
he's not
One bullet.
he's not a completely deranged psychopath. I mean,
No, he's
that's
just
really
a-
what we're talking about here. Since he doesn't want to murder the entire planet, so
Well-
we all live under the sea,
well,
Yeah,
first
he's
off-
not
we're
evil
gonna hold
enough.
that against him.
He's not evil enough, so yeah.
Well, but yeah, like, it doesn't take away. Like they're all psychopaths.
I hate him for his physical deformity.
Yeah, no one likes third nipples.
No one likes
Yeah,
that
I'm just
shit.
against
Fish
odd
fucking
numbers
and
in
third
general.
nipples, man. We got weird dudes up
Yeah.
here.
And wasn't Scaramanga like a trick shooter in the carnival
I
or the
believe
circus?
That was,
Yeah, that's how he came up.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
going to be a
Yeah.
prequel.
He's a carny. So he's a gypsy.
So, I mean,
Oh
I can
my
agree
God.
to him last if need be. That's fine.
There we go. I turned one.
You know
Tom's
what,
driving
Tom?
a hard bargain.
You know what,
lately.
Tom? I'm gonna have to get on board. Scaramanga at 7.
Well, then does that naturally? I
This is
think-
what this is what they did to me with Odd Job.
It was
Well,
nothing.
no, I would never
you haven't
moved off
made
of
one
Odd Job
good
being one.
argument and everything to say why he shouldn't be last.
I made the best argument actually.
Okay, of all those villains, which one is more iconic? Which one do you think of first? Don't say Zorn because we just did it.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Clearly, clearly, it's
But before
Christopher
that,
Walken.
like- But the whole
I think
golden gun
Drax
thing.
is. I think Drax is awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the movie that much, but Drax is a really
Oh, no, he
formidable
is-
villain
he's
for
He's
sure.
a world beater, man.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, he's
There's a lot of meh villains in the Moore movies.
yeah.
There's some cool henchmen, but the
Well,
main
yeah.
villains are meh a lot. I mean, none of these guys are like screaming, "Oh my god, I need this guy in another movie." You know, some of them, I like Drax and I like Zorn a lot. The rest of them, I could take him or leave him, to be honest with you. I find Scaramanga's like uniqueness when it comes to the villains interesting because we deal with billionaires trying to take over the world every movie. That was not his goal. His goal was just to be the greatest at what he was doing.
Yeah.
Wasn't ambitious enough.
Tom says, I agree with your points, Alex, but Tom says, fuck that shit. He doesn't agree at all.
I mean, we can go Scaramanga at 7.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scaramanga's ideals are up higher than, but the thing at the same time, we need the more evil. He's probably the least of all of them. He's probably the least evil. He probably could be. He could go either way. He's a hired gun, so
Yeah,
he
like I
could
said,
go either
He
way.
could, he
He's
could
a-
be
he's a
James
psychopath,
Bond.
Yeah, he could be James
Yeah,
Bond. So
yeah.
if you look at it that way, then yeah, he probably should go down there because all these other guys are all one sided. Scaramanga could be like an anti-hero.
He could be. You could see him being the Punisher, right?
Yeah.
Be scary, to be honest with you.
He only needs one shot. There's no.
So then I know we haven't mentioned Mr. Big yet at all, I don't think. Although I like Mr. Big as a villain. Does
Well-
this naturally kind of mean that Stromberg's going in at 6?
Well, that was my next thing to where
I
I was
just don't
like,
like Stromberg because he fucks fish.
yeah,
I
I mean,
can't
that
get
is-
off of that.
but-
and,
No, that's
but I guess
reasonable.
that's
But
not
see,
that's not good enough
and-
to put him there.
and that's
He's
what I was gonna
gotta-
say. I was gonna go Mr. Big at 6 because then we bring into like what the totality of the plans, where Stromberg wants to like nuke the surface and have everybody live underwater, whereas Big just wants to manipulate the drug trade and get rid of competition and then up the prices with addicts.
I find Mr. Big more menacing.
Yeah.
And I like all of the people he had around him. Like, everybody was his henchman.
Not only that, but Mr. Big went to 3 different places and completely and totally had the entire community follow him.
Yeah.
Like, without question.
Yeah.
He went to Harlem, he went to the Bayou, and he went, what country was he?
Because remember,
It was a fake country,
The
but
fake
like-
one, San Monique.
Yeah.
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 And they, I mean, he was even like the president or governor of San Monique or
He
whatever.
was a pretty bad
Like, he was a
guy.
politician in one place.
Multiple roles. He was wearing fake disguises.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I mean, he went there and had complete loyalty of 3 different locations in the world. That's insanity.
He may be somewhat underrated of a villain. You're
Yeah.
talking me into it. Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
Because of his whole mission is just be the best drug dealer in the world.
I mean, essentially, he just wants to
Why?
make big amounts of money. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, he's not trying to take over the world like, other people or nuke the world like other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
he
wants-
just has a different way of getting to the same end ultimately, though.
Yeah, 'cause that's a tough
money
one,
is
'cause
power. You know.
Mhm.
You almost talked me right now into Stromberg now at 6 and then putting him at 5.
Well, that was the goal.
I'll say
Yeah.
I
The
could go
only
strong.
other thing worth discussing, I think, probably. Well, these 2 guys are probably worth discussing before we decide. Is Christados.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's just a drug dealer. He's
so
just
I feel like he
it's,
shouldn't be too far from Big.
Well, yeah, like it's still too far from Big, but at least he got like now he's dipping a toe in the whole Russia UK thing.
yeah, but it's just
getting in there and-
it's just because
He just
he
found a
he was out on
Yeah,
a yacht
no,
and found
I'm not-
something.
I'm not
Oh,
saying
crap,
he's not
what's
out
this
of his
thing?
league, but I mean he's also a pretty ruthless killer and all that with everything like taking people out. So
Did Christatos, I
Well,
don't recall, did
who's
he
the
ever
dove?
get involved in the dirty work himself?
other
No,
than-
because he had the Dove do stuff,
The
and he
Dove
had
did all
the
of the
skiing. What was his name? The skier.
Yeah, I know you're talking
Oh,
the
yeah.
German,
The
ski
German.
guy.
Yeah, the
Oh.
German
then he
ski
had
guy.
then he had the hockey team that
All
beat him up
Christados
on there.
wanted
and-
was BB.
So he was a
Yeah.
figurehead.
And he's just a and a
and
child predator.
He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Okay, so fish fuckers and child predators,
They need to
mean,
go. They need to
they
go
need
off.
to be at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe Christatos is worse than Stromberg as a villain because at least Stromberg's plan, while it's batshit crazy, at least it's interesting.
Yeah, Christasos is his. I mean, he's a smuggler, but I mean, like his like plan, if we're gonna call it a plan, is just a happy accident.
Yeah.
I found this device and people want it. Who's willing to pay me for it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all it is.
So are we talking about Christados going at 6 or Christados going at 5, and Mr. Big going at 6?
I'm talking about Christados going at 6.
I think we're just talking about who's going at 6 at
I've
this
been,
point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been talking Stromberg up higher on the list as I go somehow.
I wasn't expecting that
because
because
he
I was
does have
fully
a
prepared to
larger
put
scale plan.
Stromberg at 7.
Yeah, I say as we go up, these plans probably increase in scale.
I'm
And
okay
if
with going.
that's the case,
Yeah,
Stromberg,
Christados at 6 because I feel
almost
like
being
yeah,
top.
he fell ass backwards into his predicament, and then 5 would be a good Big just because he once again still a drug dealer, but he is actually designing the plan for himself.
I'm going to have to hold fast on Mr. Big's going to have to go higher up on the list.
Yeah, we gotta put.
And let me throw
Stromberg.
out this. We haven't talked about Kamal Khan yet.
Yeah, Kamal Khan's kind of in this area. I agree with you.
He wanted to start a war.
So can somebody give me a good breakdown reminder of exactly?
Well, I mean, he was in league with Pussy. What was her name? Octopussy and General Orlov. And they were they were using her circus as a cover for jewel thieves,
Yeah.
thiefdom, whatever. And they were using Orlov's connections in the Russian army because he was obviously General Orlov. And then they were going to set off a nuclear-esque bomb in East Germany and blame it on NATO.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Yeah, it was
to lead to
designed to look
disarmament
like-
and and commie
so
takeover.
that the Russians could go in and
It's a pretty good
unmatched.
plan. It's not a shit plan for a villain. So credit to Kamal Khan on that.
How much credit do we want to give him, though? Because we don't know how much of it was his idea, because there was 2 other figureheads involved.
And
Well,
honestly,
Octopussies she's just a,
I thought
no
she-
offense to her, I liked Octopussy.
she was
She's a
supposed to
useful
die.
idiot. She's
Yeah.
just there. She doesn't know.
She was supposed to die at the circus.
But-
Well,
Could it-
but
could it-
she is involved in the jewels. She's not involved in the bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Orlov is involved with the bomb, but Orlov's dead half the movie because essentially he's an idiot.
That's true.
But that doesn't make Khan the mastermind.
Right. That's what I'm not saying he's the mastermind. I'm just
He
saying
was
like
the last one
plan
alive
to
between
go
those
off.
two.
Do you
Yeah.
actually
Because like you
need
said,
Khan?
because Octopussy doesn't matter. Because she was supposed to be killed in Germany when the bomb
He
went
was
off.
kind of like a middleman.
He
of
was a
sorts, wasn't
middleman.
he?
You didn't actually need Khan for this plane to go off.
If Orlov could have gotten Octopussy
If everything
to
got
work
where it
with
was supposed to go, then Octopussy would have got Jules. Orlov would have got his the bomb going off, and
in war.
Khan was useless.
was he interesting?
He was interesting.
I don't disagree.
I think his henchman was more interesting than him.
The
Yeah,
henchman was
Govinda?
interesting.
Govinda.
So did Khan do anything that was particularly? I enjoyed him cheating at the dice. What was
yeah.
that? I don't know what the game was.
Backgammon.
Backgammon.
That was a great scene
Backgammon.
with him and Bond with the backgammon game. So that sort of thing.
Yeah,
I
you-
take that into account on a
Yeah,
list.
but you have the auction house, and you have the interactions with him and Octopussy here and there. It kind of shows the back and forth between that dynamic and everything, because he basically acts like he's her subordinate throughout the whole film, and like I said, really he's playing her and all that.
That leads me to think Stromberg needs to go 5. That's me.
So who do you want? You want to put Stromberg at 5? So
I think Khan's a better villain than Stromberg, based on the discussion we just had.
I think he's more conniving.
Yeah, more interesting.
Yeah,
We get more out of him in the movie.
yeah, because Stromberg doesn't. Stromberg even admits he doesn't even leave his little pod and all that.
Right.
Like, so yeah.
he sends Jaws to do everything.
Yeah, which once again, Jaws just steals the next 2 shows. Like,
So really, we're voting on a go-getter and a puppet master.
Yeah, kind of.
yeah,
Well, we just kind of threw Mr. Big out. Like we were talking about him at 5, and then all of a sudden we were
Barry
like,
said Mr. Big needs to go higher. So
I think
fuck
Mr.
what
Big-
you're going to say. We need to
Yeah,
put.
I think he.
That's where
No, you guys can. I personally feel Mr. Big is a better villain than
Well,
Stromberg and Khan, but others may disagree.
well, I'm gonna say this. I don't feel super strongly about any of it.
Yeah.
Because I was fully prepared to put Stromberg at 7. So now that we've talked
I
our way
was
up to
too.
5, it's kind of like, oh well. I mean, I'm not gonna be
getting more
mad.
Okay with the fish fucking. Apparently,
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
well,
We
found-
tolerated it.
yeah,
you're
there-
tolerating the fish.
There's a
fucking.
movie that he's seen before, like propaganda. Like, I like the idea of Stromberg at 5.
Okay, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that too.
So-
Agreed.
Stromberg at 5. So now we're talking about Big and Khan at 4.
Which I think I'm gonna go Khan and then Big. Just because I like character development. We both got a lot of airtime for both of them, but I feel like yes, like Khan is playing Octopussy, but Big is not only playing, governor to a nation, but he's playing an entire nation, and then he's playing an entire like religion with the voodoo or hoodoo or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's really like manipulating people at different economic levels just to get them hooked on drugs. Like,
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie,
really elaborate.
Mr. Big is involved. Of course, he's like the president, but he's involved in like NATO meetings and stuff at the beginning. So he's very engaged in tons of stuff, like Alex said.
Yeah.
And he has like people absolutely terrified of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people in the bayou are just
Yeah.
straight scared of this man.
Yeah, even Teehee and all that, like
Yeah.
like main henchmen and everything, they were even afraid of you. Like it's so yeah. Like
So we just make an argument for Big being 3
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
because that's what it sounds like.
I think I can get there. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
we'll
I'd say
then
Khan
we'll
at
put
4.
at 4 and
Khan at
Big
4.
at 3.
All right. So I guess we're arguing 1 and 2 here, gentlemen. I guess we all had the same ideas on who 1 and 2 were, but do we have the same idea on which one's which? Drax and Zoran, 1 and 2, gentlemen. Before we even discuss it, let's just go around the room and say who you think is number 1. Tom?
Say who is number 1.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like all. Fuck.
All right.
Look at this droopy dog.
Barry, do you have a quick answer?
You know, I won't be bothered when either of these guys gets number 1 because I love them both. As much as I love Christopher Walken as Zoran, I think Drax's ginormous batshit crazy plan is better.
Yeah.
Space
And-
Fiddler, like you've been saying.
And that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, the fact that you went to space with this and all that, and like
Yeah.
you've legit lost your mind. Like
And-
Christopher Walken's out there.
But is it losing your mind if you
Yes.
succeed? Because he got there.
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean
he
the
got
whole
there,
the
he
whole
did.
plan of like making people sterile and kill.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not because crazy people. The Russians went to space. Crazy people been to space. Like, but I mean like this guy and everything. He's like his plan's really
It's
out
on
there.
a different level. Like,
Yeah.
he's not killing you. He's
Like
killing you off.
Christopher Walken just wants to
by
manipulate
making-
this like the microchip like stock market exchange basically or whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's no different than what we're doing with Taiwan right now. Like,
Justin, what do you think?
I think I would put Drax up top.
Ray?
I mean, just the scale of it, of his plan.
I don't know. I just feel like
well, he's just crazy.
He is. But it's
Zoran was menacing, and I don't know. Hugo was just kind of out there.
Well, he's not. Think of that. I would hang out with Zoran. I would not hang out with Drax.
No.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Zoran's
Well-
charismatic, and he's got that smile, and like you kind of want to like him. But then he's
He's at least got class. He can throw a party.
yeah,
I will
he'll
say
play with
this,
you
I-
until you become
Like,
useless. and
Even
then
just
he'll
being
kill you.
even just being around Drax, that man looks like he would just suck the energy out of a room.
Oh, he's so monotone and
Yeah, like
I
know?
loved his voice in the movie too. I wish I could remember exactly, but it's like this weird combination of two very distinct people. I need to give it another listen. I love that character. I think it's great.
I think Drax is an improvement upon Zoran. Zoran is rich, but he's not Drax rich.
no.
You know, he has a really cool plan. It's not Drax plan though. You know,
Zoran kept going. He could get to where Drax is.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Drax is number
Those
1.
Microchips. Like,
Yeah, good call.
I mean, this dude owned like massive swaths of land and all this machinery and multiple companies and all these things around the world.
And, a space
And then he
station.
built a fucking space station that could complement
Well-
thousands of people.
he built it under people's noses apparently.
Yeah, he was.
So that means
getting
you've
to
been
space.
sending rockets to space, and people have been turning a
outer
blind
space.
eye.
Well, not only that, but he had what, 9 space shuttles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
So
like that.
so like I said, like his scale beats everybody. Like that's like it's just like I said, the
Drax
totality. Of,
is.
it doesn't matter that him as
Elon
an
Musk in
individual is a
about
little
20.
bitch. Like
Yeah.
it's like
This is what Elon Musk wanted to be.
yeah.
Well, I think Drax, he is who he is because of his intelligence and his ruthlessness as a businessman and as a leader. Not necessarily as like he went out and got his hands dirty himself. He wasn't out there actually killing people. He had people do that for him.
Drax's biggest, his weapon was actually his mind.
Yes,
It was truly his mind.
which became his money.
Inspector wanted him, and he said, "Fuck you."
The only thing I have with Drax though is that at the end of the movie, MI6 came balls to the wall with a bunch of laser weapons and just destroyed the whole thing.
Well, it was Moonraker, so it was ridiculous through
And the Drax team didn't have any kind of weapons or nothing. They just
Well, they shot
fought back
back.
with lasers.
They shot back. They had laser
It's
guns.
just lasers against lasers. Everybody dies.
True, nothing,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah, that's not how I
There's
remember. I
nothing to
remember
block
It
MI6
was
was just shooting
Thunderbolt in
everybody up.
space. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
No, I mean they find his crates of laser guns earlier in the movie. He has laser guns. I wouldn't be surprised if MI6 stole his own laser guns to go to space with him.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
that's
put
true.
They put it in the watch.
dirty.
That's why.
thoughts.
That's why Bond has it in his watch.
That's Drax
It's
technology.
Drax Tech.
Well, there we
But you
go.
prefer Zoran, and I can totally understand that. It's a
I don't think it's
character.
a terrible
Yeah,
pick or
I
anything.
totally
I mean,
Yeah,
Zoran's
it's not
legit,
terrible at
and as far as the actors go, I mean, obviously, I love Christopher Walken. He's a great actor. And and I think he does a great job as Zoran. I'm not trying to degrade Zoran or Christopher Walken. I just think Drax is kind of on another level as his reach and his power and his money, and his plan.
Right.
And he's
Yeah,
amusing.
he's not even a multi-billion. He's probably like $100 billion type of dude, like
But
damn near trillion.
I
To
feel like
make
at
an
that point,
entire
yeah.
space station,
I say at that point you just stop counting.
and you fund
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and you're
It's like,
funding
yeah.
it, and you're fine.
Yeah, at that point everything's a machine just moving on its own. Like
To the
you
point where
don't- yeah.
the United States contracts you to make their shuttles.
Yeah. And his dogs eat people.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just
I'll get on
train.
the
Like-
Drax #1 train. I think y'all made some
I think
compelling arguments.
either one definitely is fine, but yeah, Drax for me definitely fits number
I
one.
feel like Drax and Zoran are clear 1 and 2s.
Yeah.
And then there's a
most
gap
definitely.
before we get to 3 through 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most
Mr.
definitely.
Big's nowhere on either one of their level. I mean, Stromberg could be, of all the rest of those guys, could be the closest, but he's still far.
Well, that's only because you're talking about the nuke situation. And all
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
Because Drax and Stromberg kind of have similar plans.
Yeah, because even
Just
with
one
because
underwater.
even with
and one-
Yeah.
Olaf, like
Yes.
like they're setting off like it's the same kilotons, but the idea isn't to start a war. The idea is so tanks roll in and just communism wins and all that. But it's different world domination.
But those two,
yeah.
I guess of everybody, those two were they actually wanted world domination.
Well, and Drax was gonna just he's already it's like I've handpicked people that I want to survive. I'm gonna kill everybody
Yeah.
else. Or like
He went
like
the Nazi route.
yeah,
with
it's
it.
a hell.
hmm I mean, you weren't off when you were like he's Hitler in space. Like it's very Hitler-esque. Only we
Yeah,
through
like
space
that
and
speech he did was on the space station.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's Hitler.
all right. So our final tally here, ladies and gentlemen, is and the more villains is number 1 is Drax, 2 is Zoran, 3 is Mr. Big, 4 is Khan, 5 is Stromberg, 6 is Christastos, and 7 is Scaramanga. So that will wrap up this B-side. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again.